Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another Glacial Geek Kill Team Battle Report. I am Phil, the Glacial Geek, coming to you here from Casa de Neil, where I'm about to fight a brand new Kill Team mission from the new Kill Team 2021 system between my Traitor Marine Kill Team and Jason's Adeptus Custodes, or Talons of the Emperor Kill Team. So the story that we've got going on here is that a chaos cult was rising up on this planet, doing all sorts of nefarious things as the chaos are wont to do. And the Adeptus Custodes were sent in to go handle the situation and make sure that they took care of them and purged this planet of the heretics. We are going to be playing the Consecration Mission from the new Kill Team main rulebook. Essentially, there are 5 objectives on the table that are marked there. What happens is there's the 5 markers there. If you have your models, each of your models can actually perform an action if they are within circle of those points. And essentially what it does is it says that you can, if you're within circle of those objective markers, you can perform the consecrate action. I guess I'm going to be doing defiling and you will be doing consecrating, but that works out really well there. Essentially the consecration action, it takes 1 AP, and what you can do is it gives you, that marker is now consecrated. You can only consecrate each marker once per turning point, and only one unit can do it. One model can do it per objective, per turning point, and then that unit model gains 1 AP. APL goes up by 1. Their defense goes up by 1, and their close combat attacks go up by 1. So +1 attack, +1 defense, and the AP is basically canceled out. But you have to have an AP to do the action, but then it basically is going to wash out in the end because you gain an AP for having done it. So you can't use your 2 AP to get onto the objective and do it for free, but if you use one of your AP to get onto an objective, and say you have 2 AP, APL, you can get onto the objective with one of your AP, do the action, and you'll still have 1 more AP to act with. So that is going to be the mission and the story. Before we go any further, though, let's show you the 2 kill teams that are going to be fighting it out. So for my Traitor Space Marine Kill Team, it will consist of 2 fire teams, including a Chaos Space Marine fire team with an aspiring champion, a gunner with a plasma gun, and a regular warrior, and then a Chaos Cultist fire team with 2 gunners with flamers, 4 with autoguns, and 2 with brutal close combat weapons. And then for the Talons of the Emperor Kill Team, he will have 2 fire teams of Adeptus Custodes. All right, those are the kill teams. Going over deployment, I have 3 Chaos Cultists over on the side here. I've got my Chaos, the Space Marine Gunner over here, and I've got the 2 more Chaos Cultists up front over here. I've got my aspiring champion. I've got my regular another Chaos Cultist here. I've got my Bolter Bro up there, and then I've got these 2 Chaos Cultists on the side. Going over deployment for my opponent, he's got his leader over here. He's the one with the spear. We've got a guy with a sword and board, sword and board, and sword and board. So easy enough for the Custodes. So that is a deployment. So now what we are going to do is the Recon Step. Essentially, you have 3 options. You can or the Scouting Step, I'm sorry. You've got 3 options here. You can choose to Fortify, Infiltrate, or Recon. Fortify allows you to replace another barrier, which are these things that you place. You alternate back and forth, placing 2 of them during the setup phase, and then you can place an additional one if you choose to fortify. If you choose to infiltrate, you can change the activation token of one of your models during the first turning point. And if you choose Recon, you get a free dash action that you can do. This not only are these actions things that you can do now, but they also allow us to choose who is going to be first, because it's a rock, paper, scissors system. So you have Fortify beats Infiltrate, Infiltrate beats Recon, and Recon beats Fortify. So we are now going to show which ones they are going to be here. We will reveal right now. My opponent chose 3, I chose 3. So that's a tie. So we both chose to Recon. So we're both going to be doing some dash moves here. But because we both chose the exact same one, the attacker, who happens to be my opponent, will be able to choose who will go first. Which one do you want to choose? Do you want to go choose yourself, I imagine?
Yeah.
Yeah, so he's going to choose himself to go first. So we will come back to you after with the first turning point here. All right, so into the strategy phase of the first turning point here. This is the point where you generate command points. So we each started with 2 because we had leaders, and we each gained 1 during this first strategy phase. Then we go into the play strategic ploys phase. We both spent a CP each to do strategic ploys. I chose malicious volleys, allowing me to choose 2 shoot actions with bolter weapons. And my opponent chose, what was it, peerless... something?
Peerless Warriors.
Peerless Warriors, which is 1 CP, allows him to shoot twice and fight twice if he wants during his activations, which is pretty good for the 1 CP there. Good on Custodes. So that is the play strategic ploys phase. Then we have the target reveal step, where we could start to reveal our secondary objectives that we chose here. So each of these objectives will tell you when you reveal it. So some of them will say reveal at the first target reveal step. Some will say reveal at any target reveal step, and some will say reveal when you perform an action or do something to trigger it to be shown. So my opponent had one that said reveal at the first reveal step. So he had challenge as one of his secondaries. Essentially what it does is he chooses one of my operatives and he chooses one of his operatives. So he has chosen my flamer guy over on the side over here, and he has chosen his guy over here. Essentially what happens now is he then can choose, if he incapacitates my operative over there, then he gets 1 VP. If he does it while his friendly operative is within red pentagon of him, he will score an additional VP. So a maximum of 2 points. That's what each of these secondaries will allow you to score, a maximum of 2 points. So that is the strategy phase. So we will now move on to the firefight phase, where we will start activating our guys. All right, so my opponent has decided to charge into me with his first APL after activating this guy, and then my guy will, then he's decided to fight into him for a second APL. So now we're going to fight. I'm going to have the gun butt. I'm just going to try to butt him in the face with my flamer. Essentially, I've got 3 attack dice looking for 4 pluses, doing I think 2 and 3 damage. My opponent has, with his sword, has got 5 dice looking for 2s, and I think you're doing like
lethal on 5s.
Lethal 5+, so that means crits on 5 pluses. And then what's the damage on that?
4/6.
4/6. So wow, okay, pretty good. So here we go. So now we roll our attack dice. All right, so I get 1. My opponent gets 3 crits and a regular. 3 crits and a regular. So now what we do is we alternate back and forth with allocating our dice. All right, so my opponent's first move is going to be to parry my attack die, and then he's just going to give all of these right to the guy's face. He is definitely incapacitated. So that was his first 2 APL, so now he's going to activate and shoot into my guy over here. Whoa, get back your dice. I have 3 dice for my defense, so he's got 4 attacks, 4 shots. 4 shots with his sword and board there. So his range is, he only has a range of the red, but he's definitely within range over here. So now he's going to fire, looking for 2s. Okay, getting 2 hits, but one of them is a crit. I don't think it has lethal 5 on this one. Yeah, so you've got 1 crit and 1 regular. So I have 3 dice here. I'm going to take 1 as a success since I'm in cover. I've got cover, benefiting from cover over there. Oh no, he might be too close. Yep, I can get cover because I'm more than circle away from him, so it allows me to benefit from cover. So I'm going to take the cover, take the automatic success that I can here, and then I've got 2 dice looking for 5 pluses. But really, I'm looking for a 6 to try to cancel out that crit. But I don't get either of them, so you just do crit damage to me. How much is that? 4 damage. And then he's going to shoot him again because he can, because he spent that 1 CP for Peerless Warriors. So his second APL for the shoot here, looking for 2s. So again, getting 2 regular hits there. So I'm going to take the cover for the 1 and then looking for 5 pluses. And I get it with a fill phase. Woo! All right, so now my turn to activate. I activated this guy that was over here. He moved and dashed. He had to move one less circle because he is injured, but he did manage to dash over the barrier over here into safety. My Chaos Cultists actually have a group activation GA of 2, which means I had to activate another guy as well. In which case I activated the guy over here who moved over to here and then did the Consecrate action over onto this objective here. So that's where he is going to be. So that is going to be it for my activation on this initial turning point. All right, so my opponent activated his guy over here who moved over this way and then consecrated that objective there. He has the conceal, so he can't actually shoot anyone, so he's only going to use 2 of his 4 APL. All right, so my first and next activation is going to be my guy here who is heroically or stupidly charging into the Custodian over on this side. He's going to charge in over there and then attack him. So I've got the brutal close combat weapon on him. So I've got 4 dice looking for 4s or 5s, was it? Brutal assault weapon looking for 4 pluses. My opponent is looking for 2s with his sword. All right, so I got a crit and a regular hit there. My opponent got 3 crits because it's got 3 crits and the regular lethal there. So the first activation, I am going to give you a crit into your face over there, which will give you deal 3 damage to you. And then I imagine that you're going to take one of your crits to, or even one of your regular dice to cancel out this, and then just straight up incapacitate me. That brought him down to 15 wounds. And then this guy over here is going to activate, and he is going to shoot into, can't shoot into him because he's got conceal and he's getting cover, so he's going to shoot into him over there. So these are going to be looking for 4 pluses with his autogun, getting 2 regular hits. You get your defense, so you've got regular defense, so you've got your 3 defense on them, right? Looking for 2 pluses. Yeah, he's going to ignore both of those. And then this guy over here activated, moving and dashing onto the objective there and consecrating it. And then my guy over here moved and dashed onto the objective there and then consecrated that objective. All right, so his guy over here activated, moved and dashed onto the objective. He did the consecrate onto the objective over there. Then he wanted to shoot this guy, but he's got the conceal and is benefiting from cover, so cannot be shot. So that's where he's going to be. All right, these guys over here advanced, moved and dashed, and their 2 GA moved up here, so they jumped onto the objective over here. So now the Adeptus Custodes player, he would be able to overwatch with one of his guys, but 2 of them are concealed, and 2 of them that are activated have a range of the red on their weapon, so they're not within range to be able to overwatch with their shooting there. And then for my activation here, I'm going to move my last cultist onto the objective over here. So now I have 6 APL on that objective. My opponent only has the 4 APL, which means that I control this objective now. All right, so now I'm going to activate my gunner with the plasma gun, who is going to fire into his Adeptus Custodes back over there. I am going to supercharge, so that means that it becomes AP2 and hot. So if every 1 that I roll, I will suffer 3 mortal wounds, but the AP2 reduces his defense dice by 2. So now he has an option to either do 1 dice looking for 2-ups, which is his armor, which is his regular save, or he has an invul because of his storm shield there of 4+, which would allow him to do a 3 4-up saves, because the invul saves, the way they work there is you ignore the AP, so you ignore that, but you have to look for the new saving throw of what your invulnerable save is. So in his case, it's a 4-up invulnerable save on his storm shields there. So I've got these 4 shots, looking for 3 pluses to hit. Okay, so that 2 misses, but does not hurt me there. I have 1 crit, and I have 2 regular hits into you there. I imagine you're going to do your invul here. So my opponent's going to do his invul. So he's got 4 4-up saves to make. Oh, does not make any of them.
Oath Parchment will allow me to reroll 1.
So he, 1 second. All right, so my opponent gave him the equipment called Oath Parchment, which allows him to do the tactical reroll here when he's being shot at for free without having to spend the CP. So he's going to use it now. Does get that 4-up, so that will cancel out 1 of these. So that's going to do 6 damage, and that's going to do 5 damage, doing 11 damage to him. So that would put him down to 7 wounds there, and it would actually, because of the way it's stated here, he's down to 7 wounds, which would be less than half, which would mean he would be injured. But they have a special rule, the custodians here, that Emperor's Chosen, which means that you're never injured unless you have a battle scar, but that only comes into effect, I think, with the Spec Ops, so the narrative kind of campaign mission stuff there. All right, so now my last guy over here is going to activate. He's going to fire his bolter into his leader over here. I gave him the equipment Malefic Rounds, which turns his bolter into P1, which essentially means that if I get a critical hit, it acts as AP1, so you could -1 from his thing. So it's not cumulative. I think I made that mistake in a previous battle report. So if I have 2 crits, it's not AP2, it's just AP1 if I get any crits there. So he is going to fire into him, and so these are going to be 4 shots with his bolter here, looking for 3s to hit. No crits, so I got the 3 regular here. These are going to be no AP, so you just have 3 2-up saves. You make them all. So now I'm going to spend 1 CP on a tactical ploy called Veterans of the Long War. Essentially, if I make an attack in close combat or in shooting and my target suffers no wounds because of those attacks, I can spend the 1 CP and do it again. So I'm going to. So here we go. Looking for, again, 3s to hit. So I do get 3 hits, including a crit. So that means that you're going to have 2 dice for your defense here, and then 2 regular here. So looking for 2-ups. Failing them both. So that is going to do 4 and then 10 damage total. And then because I did Malefic Volleys, it will allow me to shoot again into him over here. So we're going to have 4 shots. Again, hitting on 3s. Getting all hits this time, and 1 P1 there. So it's going to be 2 defense dice here. Looking for 2-ups. Getting 1 there. You've got 9 damage. There's nothing you can do, because you can technically spend 1 CP to turn this success into a crit success, which would cancel out the 4 damage there, but that's still doing 9 damage. So he's, no matter what, without spending the CP, you're still going to be, unfortunately, unfortunately for you, not for me, he is going to be taken out of action. All right, and that's going to be the end of the turning point. At the end of the turning point, we do score. It's essentially you score based upon how many consecrated objectives that you control. So you score 1 VP to a maximum of 4 per turn. So I control this one over here. It's consecrated, and I control it with the 3 guys versus his 1. This guy controls this one, and he controls that one, getting me 3 points. My opponent controls this one, but he does not control that one. So that's going to be, because I killed him off there. So that's going to be 3-1 for those victory points. All right, so now we're going to roll in the initiative step of turning point 2 to find out who will have initiative going in here. So I rolled a 3, so that will be to the Traitor Marines turn 1 have the initiative. So onto the strategy phase step here. We both gained a CP. Then my opponent spent 1 CP for Aegis of the Emperor as a strategic ploy. It essentially allows him to turn all of my critical hits, the damage that would be inflicting from critical hits, to doing regular damage to him, which is really good for 1 CP. That's super good. I guess it works when you've got so few models, is what it comes down to. So he's going to be spending that with CP. I'm not going to spend anything in the strategic ploy phase. Then in the reveal target step, my opponent has revealed route. So essentially he gains a CP, a VP if he incapacitates an enemy within pentagon of my drop zone. So pretty good one there. So we'll come back to you with the firefight. All right, so the first activation I'm going to do is my aspiring champion. The first thing he's going to do is going to consecrate that objective over there. That will give him +1 APL. It will give him +1 defense and +1 attack with his close combat weapon. He is then going to shoot into this guy with his plasma pistol. So I have 4 shots. I am going to supercharge, so we'll become AP2 and hot. So looking for 2s to hit. Buddy, I'm going to spend a reroll on one of those because I don't need him to just be really hurting there. Okay, so I've got 3 hits here, 2 of which are crits, and he's going to take 3 damage, 3 mortal wounds because of that miss there. But then my opponent has his defense, so you're going to choose to use the Storm Shield, so he's going to have 4, looking for 4-ups. Getting 2 crits and a success. That's exactly what he needed to ignore all of my stuff. Well played. All right, so now I decided to charge into him with my third APL. But because I had the one that I gained from consecrating that objective, I'm going to charge into him, and I will then fight into him with my 4th APL that I have because of the +1 from consecrating. So I get, because of the +1 attack that I get here, I'm actually going to have 6 attacks hitting on 2s. Okay, wow, 3 1s, buddy. It's brutal 5, so there's going to be 2 crits, and my opponent is going to be able to ignore a bunch of stuff. So I'm actually going to... Oh, buddy. Yeah, I'm going to do... I'm going to do damage into you over here. So I think that does 5 damage. All right, so what I'm going to do over here is the first strike that I make is actually, I'm going to use implant. So it's one of my tac ops here. It says you reveal this tac op when you would strike an enemy operative in combat. Instead of inflicting damage on an enemy operative from that strike, you can implant that operative instead. That operative does not lose any wounds from that strike, and you score 1 VP. If 2 other enemy operatives are implanted, you score 1 VP. So I actually had meant to do that to this guy over here when I charged in crazily and knew he was going to die, but I didn't, so I'm a fool for that. But now I'm going to do this and reveal this, score that 1 VP, and implant him, because the way it worked out, I'm dead anyway, and the most I can do is going to be 4 damage to him because of the Aegis of the Emperor. Even if I inflict this crit, it's only going to do regular damage because he's going to choose to take it as regular damage. So I could do 4 damage to him, or I can implant him and get a VP. So I'm going to implant him, get the VP. Then my opponent is going to use his shield, which means allows him to ignore 2. He's going to ignore those 2, and then he's just going to do like 6, like 10. What is it? 6. A bunch of damage. Yeah.
8.
Between that. So he's just going to straight up take me out over there.
Sorry.
All right. My opponent's now going to activate his guy over here, who's going to charge in here. He's then going to attack with his 2nd APL into my flamer guy. So he has 5 attacks. I've got 3 attacks. I'm looking for 4-ups. He's looking for 2s. Okay, I wish I was looking for 2s. But still, he's got the 3 regular ones, and that's going to be enough to just take me out, because I actually did not get any hits at all. All right, so now my guy over here is going to activate. He is going to supercharge and shoot into the guy over there. So I am going to supercharge, so making it AP2, but also gets hot. So let's see how he hurts compared to his friend with the plasma pistol. Looking for 3s to hit. Okay, does not hit, but he gets 3 regular hits there. So you're going to use your Storm Shield, so looking for 4-ups. Fails, makes 2 of them, and then fails 1 of them, which would do, I think, it's a regular hit into you, so I think it's 4 damage. All right, my opponent's actually going to spend the CP to reroll. Makes it there, so he takes no damage. All right, so my opponent's now going to spend 1 CP on, what was it again? What's it called?
It is Brotherhood of Demigods.
Brotherhood of Demigods, which you perform either at the end of the firefight step, or when it's your turn to activate a unit, activate an operative. What you do is it allows you to take a free action, and it does not count as an activation. So the way we figured it out is, the way we see it is, you're not usually allowed to do the same action twice during an activation. So, like, you can't fight twice, you can't shoot twice, you can't move twice, you can't dash twice. But it doesn't state that you can't do it during the same turning point, because and this tactical ploy specifies that it does not count as an activation. So we're assuming, since this is not his activation, he can use that 1 CP to allow him to fight again. So he is going to fight. Declare a fight into my guy over here with the brutal close combat weapon. I had given him what is it, Dark Blessings, which is one of the equipments. It gives him +1 close combat attacks. So I'm gonna have 5 close combat attacks, looking for 4s, and my opponent's gonna have looking for 2s. So failing 2, but still getting 3 regular hits there. I got 1 crit and 1 regular. So you get to activate 1 first. All right, to start off, my opponent's going to parry one of these. Technically, he could parry twice, but you can't parry. Parry a crit with a regular die there. All right, so then my activation, or for my choice, I'm going to parry his, and then he will just do 4 damage to me over there. All right, so then my opponent's guy over here is going to charge into my cultist over here, and now he is going to attack. So he's going to have 5 attacks looking for 2s. I have 3 attacks looking for 4s. All right, so I get a crit and a regular. My opponent gets 2 crits and 3 regulars over there. So I'm probably going to be dead. Oh, he's going to parry. That is a brilliant plan there. And then I'm dead. Boop. And then because my opponent has 4 APL and my one guy over here has 2 APL that's still on it, he controls it and he will consecrate it. And then he is going to now shoot into my guy over here because he charged, fought. He's not in engagement range, so he can shoot. So he's going to shoot over here. So these are going to be looking for 2s to hit. All right, so he's going to get a crit and a regular hit there. I'm going, because I've got cover over there, I'm going to take one of these as a success there, and then I'm going to be looking for 5 pluses. Only get the 1. Is it worth re-rolling? I don't think it is. No, I already did my re-roll this turn, so because I can't cancel that out, he'll just do 1 crit damage to me, because I'll cancel out this. And then the crit damage, what's the crit damage?
You can spend 2 to...
Oh, yeah, so that's what I'll do. I'll do this 2 regular to cancel out his crit, and then just take the regular damage.
That'll do just 3.
3 damage to me. Yeah, we had just talked about this, because in combat, you can only ever activate 1 die when you're doing that, so you can't do 2 regular to cancel out a crit in close combat. But you can... with the defense dice, the way it works with shooting, you can do that way.
Yeah,
use the 2 for this. The only way to do it with that one. So, leaving me with 4 wounds left. All right, so my guy over here activated. He moved, dashed onto the objective. He is then going to consecrate that objective, and then he is going to shoot into his dude bro over here. So I've got 4 shots here, looking for 3s to hit. That's just going to be 3 regular hits. So, because the APL does not, I didn't get any, it's a P1, so I didn't, because of Malefic Volley here, so looking for 2-ups. Making them all, he's good to go.
Hey.
All right, I spend the 1 CP on Veterans of the Long War, allowing me to just do that action, do it again. So we've got the 4 attacks hitting on 3s again. Wow, I got the 1 with the 8 with the P1, so that's going to give me. You only have 2 dice now to save on this.
Yeah, 2 2-ups.
2 2-ups is the best way to go about it. Does get the 2 2-ups, which because their defense can cancel out my crit there. All right, so now my opponent's going to activate his last guy here. His first AP is going to be to shoot into me over here. So he's got, what is it, 4 or 5 dice? 4 dice looking for 2s to hit. So that's going to be 3 hits there, 3 regular hits. I'm in cover over here, so I'm going to take 1 as a success, and then I'm going to try to deny with the other ones. Looking for 3-ups. Oh, double 1 is real painful. That is going to be doing how much damage? 3 damage each. He takes 6 damage. All right, so then he is going to charge into me and then attack me. So he's looking for 2s to hit, right? With yours? Yeah. And I'm looking for 3s. Okay. Crit.
3 lethal and 2 regular.
3 lethal and 2 regular. I have 2 regular here.
I'll parry.
So he's going to parry both of these because he's got a storm shield, and then he's just going to straight up kill me. All right, so my activation here, this guy activated, moved, and dashed up onto the objective over here. And over here, I'm going to activate my hurt guy over here. So I'm going to have 5 attacks looking for 5s. Getting none.
And 2 crits for me.
I needed anything. I needed anything. I just needed 1. I just wanted to implant him, and I couldn't even get 1 5. Ooh, that is real painful.
Try again with
I'm going to be dead. Oof. Now my opponent is going to Overwatch with this guy into me over here. He's got 4 shots, hitting on 3s, though, because it's Overwatch. So you get 1 crit. Is it crit as well?
It's 1 crit, 2
1 crit, 2 regular.
I don't think lethal on melee.
Yeah, so I'm looking for 5-ups on the saves over here. Getting a... No, that's still not enough. I needed... That was good. And that's not bad. But I needed 1 more because it does 4 damage.
3.
Oh, 3 damage. Oh, so he's still alive. Okay. All right, so now it's my activation. This guy moved and dashed over here. He's hurt, so he's down 1 of the circles there. And then this guy over here is going to activate because it's GA2. And he is going to attack because I got to try. So here we go. I'm looking for 4 pluses, getting a crit, and I got 2 1s. So he got a crit, and he's gonna kill him. Because that's gonna do like 5 damage. Yeah, he's gonna be dead.
6
damage. Yeah, so he's going to be dead anyway, so I'm going to use this to implant into him and get that there. And then he's going to be dead. All right, so that's going to be the end of the turning point here. At the end, I do control one objective that's been consecrated, getting me 1 point. My opponent controls 2 that have been consecrated, getting him 2 points. He also scored a point for route since he incapacitated one of my guys within pentagon of my drop zone, and then he also revealed this at the end of the turning point. It says revealed this tac op at the end of the turning point execution, in which more enemy operatives than friendly operatives were incapacitated during that turning point. At the end of the battle, if more enemy operatives than friendly operatives were incapacitated during 2 or more turning points, you score 1 VP. At the end of the battle, if more enemy operatives than friendly operatives were incapacitated during 3 or more turning points, you score 1 VP. So it's going to be pretty good to try to get that there. So that's going to be the end of the turning point here. We will come back to you with the well. Let's roll to see who will have initiative going into turning point 3. I rolled a 4, so it will be the Chaos Space Marine's turn here on turn 3. All right, so during the strategy phase, we both gained a CP. My opponent then promptly spent his CP in a strategic ploy, allowing doing peerless warriors, allowing them to shoot or attack twice during their turn. I did not spend anything, and then revealing the ploy, the targets. None of us showed anything during that phase, that step. So we are now going to move into the firefight step. All right, so now we are going into the firefight step. I'm going to activate my gunner with a plasma gun. He's going to shoot into this guy, and I'm going to supercharge. So it's going to become AP2 and hot. So 4 shots here, hitting on 3s. Oh, so he's going to get hot. I do get a crit, and I get a regular. So you're going to use your 4s, looking for 4-ups here.
Since I'm in cover.
Oh, yes, you do get to retain one of those as a success. And then now you're basically looking for 2 successes or a crit.
I can't retain this success on a critical, can I?
You can't retain it as a critical. You can only retain it as a regular success.
So, okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to look for...
So now looking for here. No, neither of them. Wow. So he will take 6 damage. All right, so now it is my turn. The rest of my APL is going to be spent to charge and to fight over here. So I'm looking for, I got 3 attacks looking for 3s. My opponent has 5 attacks looking for 2s. So I did get 1, which is all I need because I get to activate first. I'm going to do it and take him out of action. All right, so then this guy over here is going to charge into my cultist over here and then attack him. So he's going to have 5 attacks looking for 2s. I have 3 attacks looking for 5s because he's wounded. Getting 1 crit. My opponent has 2 crits, so he's just going to activate and kill me right off. Oh, no, I guess you could just deny it and then kill me. So
yeah,
he's just dead. And then he is going to activate and shoot into me over here.
Or do you have cover?
What's up? I am concealed. Cover? Oh, one. Yeah, he can see him. He can get without being concealed over here. Even though I have the conceal, it just wasn't in not blocked. So here we go. These are going to be looking for what are these looking for? Looking for 2s to hit. Yeah, so that's going to be 3 regular, and I'm looking for 5s. Nothing. So he is just going to be straight up dead. And then he's going to consecrate that objective over there. All right, so now it's my turn to activate with an Overwatch because all my guys are dead except for him. He is going to shoot into his guy over here. These are going to be 4 shots, looking for 4s to hit because it's -1, and I am going to supercharge. So I do take 3 damage. And I do get 2 hits, 1 crit and 1 regular. Actually, I'm going to spend a CP to reroll this. Yeah, there you go. So that's going to be 1 crit and 2 regular. AP -2, so you don't do the 4, so you get to ignore 1. So that's going to do 11 damage to him. All right, so now it's his guy over here activated. He moved and dashed onto the objective. He then consecrated that objective, and now he's going to shoot into my guy over here. So here he goes. He's looking for 2s to hit, so he gets a crit and 2 regular shots there. I'm going to take 1 as a success because he's got cover over there, and then I'm looking for 3s to ignore over here. I do get a crit, so I will just take the 3 damage. All right, so at the end of the turning point, my opponent controls 2, because he's got 4 APL to my 3 APL, so he'll control that. He controls 2 of the objectives, getting him 2 points for that. I get 0 points. He also scored another point for route, which gives him the 2 VP total for that one. And then that will been the second battle round that he's killed more than, or incapacitated more than I have, giving him the 1 point for execution. So that's going to be it for this turning point. We will now roll off to see who will have initiative going into the next one. Paul rolled a 5, I rolled a 1, so it'll be Adeptus Custodes here on turn 4. The last and final, I mean, it's obviously going to be the last one with what's got left, but it will be the last one even just in any game. So then into the strategy step of the turning point here. We both gained a CP. My opponent promptly spent 1 CP on Peerless Warriors, allowed him to fight twice or shoot twice. And that is going to be it for that turn. I didn't spend anything, so I just have the 1 CP left to me. We do not have anything to reveal, so now we are going to go into the firefight step. So my opponent's first activation is going to be to charge my guy over here with his other bro there. So he's looking for 2s, I'm looking for 3s. So I get 3 regular, and my opponent gets 1 crit and 4 regular. So the first thing you were going to do, I imagine, is going to be, because he's got a shield, he's going to parry 2 of them. I am then going to implant him, which is the 3rd guy to implant. So, and then I will be dead. All right, then he's going to consecrate that objective and consecrate this objective. So he'll get an additional 2 points for that. So bringing him to, at the end of this game, my opponent will have 13 points. I, with that additional point for the implant, is left with 6 points. So 13-6, a victory for the Adeptus Custodes. They have successfully consecrated the ground and wiped the malefic presence from this kill zone. So a ton of fun. It was really cool. There was definitely moments like when my bolter guy just like straight up just tore down his Adeptus Custode guy there. That was a ton of fun. It was really fun to see him go back and forth. Just 4 models versus, I think it was like a bajillion models or something like 7, 8, I think 11 models. So 4 to 11 models is pretty good. The plasma gun did some work. It just needed to do a little more work. The bolt gun, I think, did more. You're right. So pretty good there. But yeah, a ton of fun. It's interesting to see how these all are coming out. And I know the balance seemed a little off. The reason I didn't score many points was I had 1 objective that I could have done. I had 1 where I could have done uploading viral code, but I never had guys that were going to be within range to do it. And the other one was the interloper, and he killed the interloper before he was able to even get anywhere near the end there. So there was nothing I could have done for those points. So, but yeah, a ton of fun. It was really cool and strategic. Like when I get guys over here within range to knock you off of holding this objective. It's fun. I'm enjoying it so far. So I hope you guys have all enjoyed this. I certainly have. I have been Phil, the Glacial Geek. As always, my opponent's been Jason. And until next time, stay safe and have fun.